Hello and welcome. It is the 8th day of May 2021, currently 4:35 p.m. Eastern. My name is Derek, and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and amongst the like, each his own risk and their own reward. Overextended? Yeah, but only 2 periods overextended looking at Doge against Bitcoin, but it's up a lot. 1,132 Satoshi at this moment. And what does all this other stuff mean in here? It's just yada yada. But before then, it did have some meaning. And what it's meaning, what I seen from it anyway, was that it was in the sideways range. Mainly, and really 100 was resistance and 20 was support for a 5x move with, of course, a little bit extra pierces. Close enough. Piercing a resistance, all of these spots at 100. And then supporting them at 20. And that's the past. Either one of 3 things was going to happen. It's going to stay in the range. Of course, it didn't do that. Break down. Nope. And then the third one, break out. Which, of course, is what happened. Happening. Current sense. Who knows how much higher this thing can go, but it's at some point it's going to have a decent size retracement. It opened the year at 16 Satoshi. Almost 100 times higher. So when you start to see things like 60, 70, 80, 90% declines whenever they happen, and they will. Well, it's got to happen. It's when you have like 100x moves and 30x move down moves, 30x down. Well, 30x down is like 97% to the downside. 2x down is 50%. 3x down, I think, is 67%. 4x down, 75%. 5x down is 80%. And 5x down, well, 10x down from, and it could easily happen there and even more. 1278 would be going down to 127. And really, I've already shown you the 20 to 100 range. If it can come back and hold 100 as support, that's huge. And coming down to 100 would be healthy. Something to keep in mind holding this coin. Make sure if you, well, I mean myself, I've insured profit. Weekly term, decent size move up, correcting for a while, then period 4 of good volatility here on the break. First one was a good breakout week, up 363%, 4.6x. Then down 10.7, a pause period, and another pause period up 28. But then continuation within this week, which is going to conclude in about a day or so. So it's almost over. 1 day, 4 hours. On the daily term, it's just been a phenomenal ride. What kind of, hasn't had its big correction, obviously. Because before this, you have your move up. Markets correct either through price or through time. So a small price correction, then the time. Huge move up, price correction. Small one. Up, price correction. Then it corrects, and then it gets going in here. And just a little bit of choppy up and down price corrections along the way on the short term, which would be viewable when we go shorter term, like 4 hour. Oh, the 18 average has been fantastic thus far. Supporting on the 18 average of lows. How many times has it been fantastic? Well, I'm not going to count, but I'm just going to do some drawings in here. A couple times on this one. Here, yeah, this is more of the close, I suppose. But here, you can say it was showing weakness at the 18 average of lows, but in a downtrend it might show weakness. Not so great here, but it handled this run pretty well. Resistance most certainly been established here and here. So retest has already been placed. That was done 6 periods or so ago. Didn't break it, but correctionary move. Can we resist it? Now when you have something like this, can we at least support whatever this resistance area is? Or was, rather. So far, so maybe. I mean, we had this low in here, so if we can establish some sort of higher low, and we had the big pierce lows here. So if a pierce low here, higher than this. So if it can grind and stay here for like 3, 4, 6, 7 periods in this area, That'd be supporting where we came from, but hey, this thing could get going at any time. It's been a wild ride, to say the least. 1 hour. I didn't really want to. I want 15 minutes. I thought was interesting here because this is Poloniex, but Bittrex, or excuse me, this is, like I say, Poloniex exchange here, which I'm using because they have all the data going way back farther than Binance. But Binance looks a little bit different. This will move in here. Intra-period. This has a move of high of 1277, low of 1094. Differential of 183. Yeah, 183. Which is like 17% volatility in just the 15-minute period. And this is a time frame I wanted to show. This is just crazy volatility, to say the least. Very, very big volatility. So what's going on in here? And then even just continuation within its movements is still pretty interesting to see the least. So a lot of things I see right now, we're supporting this resistance, nice little uptrend, but then over here. You have one period where in 5 minutes it loses 9.56%. And then when these things go wild, and especially if you look at the market, like a market exchange, and you can just see the wild moves that occur when things are going wild up or down. And this would have been one of them. I mean, I wasn't there to see it, but I could just tell by looking at it that it would have been. And in here, you get an instant rebound right from the fact. And in bull markets, that's something that's very common. So what's it done so far from it? Well, the instant move happened, of course. It instantly rallied, pulled back, it retested this low in this period, came into the 18, resisting this level of support, but then it was unable to hold a key area. Thus, the follow-through was a lower low. Here's a key area here. Didn't hold it here. No support at this. New leg established. Okay, another test, another try. Next, so you have resistance at the 18. Nicely above it too, but you can at least stabilize the situation, which is what all of this is, a stabilization. And here, it's, yeah, showing strength at the 18. Yeah, sort of, maybe, but definitely in here. This was like, okay, so you had all of this correctionary move, and now this is a statement that it's going to attempt to get this thing going. So what's it done since then? Well, it made to this high, and it's established support, hit twice, and that's it. And we're still alive. Didn't mean to do So therefore, within this little range in here, when you look at this, if it's able to get it above and make this move, then just maybe this entire selling might be done, and we could be looking at this like a failed breakdown. And then you see price action stabilizing here for a while, or even just continue follow through at 1280, 1290, 1300. We're probably going to be seeing some much higher prices. And breaking down. Established supported here. Just a little while ago, it came in here. It didn't do it there. We have this high. This could be a lower high, and this could even be a lower high. If it is, even if matching high, whichever, even if it comes up to here, and then if this level breaks, then we're coming down and testing at least in here. And that's just always the way I'm looking at these charts. You break a key support resistance, what's the next key level? Are you in retracement mode? Retracement mode means areas seen in a recent time frame that are high to low. So for example, you got retracement from this high to this low. You can even have miniature retracements from this high to this low. And then you have upside. So here, you break resistance, you have upside above this, but you're doing that within a retracement mode. So oftentimes, okay, maybe you come back and you're going to retest this level. Then you got the Fibonacci level numbers, 23.6, 38.2, 61.8, and then 70. 6.4. I've seen softwares have like weird percentage numbers. They can say it's Fibonacci percentage, but it really isn't. It's almost like taking like, you know those tires you put on a car? Yeah, it's like calling that a watermelon. Meaning there's a lot of incorrect Fibonacci retracement. I think I do it damn well. But you know what? That's my thought. And it's up to others to determine how they want to do it. I just like to bring up a different perspective. So if you look at different Fibonacci numbers in here, say, for example, and let's calculate some just for fun. So this level here, which is like 1275 and like 1030. So I'm going to use my calculator. So high. So if there's a shake there. The key levels are 1121, 1177. So I'm exponing exponential number to this number, multiply the low again. So 21 and 77. See, it's already hit. This is an exact hit. 3 Pierce number higher, 1180. Of course. I mean, of course. See, getting above that tells me that this is a failed move on the way down. And getting, if it has momentum above it, it's probably going to be a fantastic situation. Let's look at some other Fibonacci here. What can we look at? We come from this low to the high. This is 890 or so, 885. And if your general area, that all works too. It doesn't have to be exact. I mean, just if you're pretty much there, it works. High 12, basically. So like 1280 and 8 high. So basically a little over 1,000, a little over 11. Well, it's all over 11 now. Here's the little over 1,000 mark here. Yeah, see, this is the thing. You have this resistance here. If we can support this little conjunction area, I mean, it's just so huge. So a lot of signals showing getting it above here that this thing's going to go sky high fly. Even it already is sky high fly. But it will tell you that it's not done. It's that of sky high fly. Let's look at some other Fibonacci retracement, because, for example, back in here, you know, you have, I mean, I had this come back down to like, say, 300. It had a resistance of like the slot machine number of 700, 77. And what would you use as support? Well, you can use a key breakout level. You could use a key low from the past. I mean, I don't want to use this low because I'd rather use one of these other ones down here. Like, especially with this volume. This is the low I think you want to go right here. You got it with a good volume. Let's just check a look what's before that. Yeah, that's a good low, like 89 or 90. So key numbers here, 205, 341, then 467. So this comes down to 279 or so. So that would have been a move to, that would have been like a 50% retracement, which is very rare. I notice anyway. And that's another thing. People call like a 50% as Fibonacci retracement. And I'm going to go over what I believe on 50%. I don't see hardly anything, very much anything at all, for 50% to represent Fibonacci, other than it's right in between both the 61.8 and 38.2. But it's, I think it's an important, it might be an important a retracement level to have. So I think having it works really good. But it seems a lot of those sites will put it in linear fashion when they do the calculations. So the way a lot of them do it, which I believe is highly incorrect, high subtract low, multiply the fib percentage, and then you add it to the low. So in the case of the last example, you would be like, okay, 777 subtract 90, which would give you 687. Multiply the Fibonacci percent, so 61.8% as an example. Then add the low again. No, I don't like that. It just gives incorrect results. Where high divided by low, get the rate of ascent or descent, however you want to look at it, to the exponent of the fib percentage. And then you multiply the low. So pretty much in the same area in how you do it, except for this is a multiply, not a plus. This is exponent, not multiply. And this is divide, not subtract. And yet, if you take some big numbers like this, like 1280 down and like 60 low, I mean, you cannot use this measure for it to work. You have to use this one. Whereas, let's just assume you're day trading this on the 1 minute. Let's just take a look at the 1 minute term. So we got this fib level from 1136 and like 1180. Either way you calculate it, you're going to get the same result pretty much. At least with so many decimals you will. When the volatility is like nothing. When I'm doing like 1180 divided by like 1135, oh, 1.03 something in that area. That's like 3%. No, not much. So when you're using those type of measures, so the Fibonacci that those trading software sites give you and you're a major day trader on the 1 minute, 5 minute term, or you're doing markets that are just not volatile, like currency markets, stuff, and then those numbers are going to probably work for you. But I've seen so many examples of people trying to use Fibonacci, and I just know that they could be using it more effectively if they were to actually use the formula that I've mentioned. But I understand how that formula works, and I've used that formula in other different ways before. And when you're doing math, I think it's highly effective for you to understand how the mathematical equations are being done and being calculated. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.